start saving a little bit extra because the cash flow is a little more ebb and flow. So I do feel like you're going to be in a spot where you're like, oh, let me just shove some extra cash aside for a rainy day. Others, I feel like you're going to be cutting expenses. You're really going to be paying attention to what's happening financially, and you'll realize, oh, you know what, I really don't need to pay $250 for the cable bill because I have every single channel known to man and I only watch 3 of them. So these are things where you can find some spaces to cut some of your costs, and that will put a little extra cash in your pocket so you're not feeling so strangled financially. Health, I feel there's going to be an overall sense of increased self-discipline for some of you this week. I do feel there's also going to be a group of you that will end up reaching out and getting some assistance when it comes to maybe finding like a personal trainer to help you work out, maybe a wellness coach to help you lose some weight, either way, or maybe even both. So I definitely feel like some of you are going to be reaching out for that sort of help. I also feel some of you that have been having symptoms that, and like you're having like these weird freaky symptoms, you've kind of gone to the doctor, but nobody really knows what's going on. And I feel like you're going to decide to track your symptoms and see if they relate to anything that you're actually putting in your body, putting on your body, and or connected to your emotions and your feelings. So definitely pay attention to that as well. If you're exercising or doing anything sporty, I feel like some of you could end up with some minor injuries like bruises, sprains, and strains. Nothing, you know, major, but still, why put yourself in that situation? And then there's those of you that I feel like you've had an injury recently and you're just in this process of healing. So for those of you, I feel like you just need to be easy with yourself. You will have that get up and go energy this week. So you might just be at a stage where you've been maybe bedridden or had to rest, you know, whatever the case is, but you'll feel good and you'll want to overdo it. So just be mindful of that. Spirituality this week, I just feel like some of you will actually receive some messages from helpful spiritual advisors, maybe even some guides. I feel like some of you will actually connect with your own intuition more and become more aware of things that you cannot see, but things that you can feel and sense. Others, I feel like you'll have a whole new way of looking at things spiritually, which will be a huge appeal for you, and it's going to get you to like research, and I feel like you'll find yourself spending money on some sort of spiritual cause to help yourself and maybe even give back to the community in some way. So that wraps up this week's predictions. I hope everyone has a great week ahead. I do feel like it's going to be a week that kind of ebbs and flows. Nothing too intense unless you've been stuck in really negative patterns. Then I do feel like the intensity will be a little more on you. There will be a little more pressure because, again, this is about awakening and realizing I just don't know. And I can't tell if like something happened to him, but I just feel like I almost feel like he's not MIA by choice, but like so I don't know if there's a possibility he could be, you know, somewhere else, maybe incarcerated, or I don't know, it's weird. Like he's disappeared in some way, and I can't tell if it's because he's crossed over or because he's incarcerated or he's like out of the country. But I feel like you just need to kind of maybe let it go. I do feel like you'll find out in a couple more years. To me, it feels like somewhere between 2 to 4 years, all of a sudden you're going to connect to somebody that you mutually knew back then.
I have 2 friends that are, honestly, they want to be with me, and they're both willing to help me raise my son. I just don't know if those are good decisions to make with them or whatnot. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm so confused about it. So I don't know about that either. Like,
I feel like those are not good relationship choices for you. I do feel, you said there's two, right?
Yes. One's a childhood friend, and the other one, I've only been talking to him a couple of months.
Okay. Okay, so I think there's actually a third person that could come into the picture sometime before the end of the year. I feel like you need to not put pressure on yourself to make a choice. I feel you should genuinely just date all of them and kind of figure out who you're more compatible with, because I feel like there is going to be a deepening. Like, I feel like love is coming your way and you're going to know it, but you need to give yourself the opportunity to actually figure out what you want. And right now you're acting out of fear and concern because you're looking for someone to help you raise your son. Like, you want to do right by your son, so I don't want you to end up settling. So just take your time with it.
Honestly, one of my old ex-boyfriends is going to be coming around soon, I believe.
I feel like it's somebody new. I don't feel like it's anybody from your past that is who you're going to be ending up with.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now back to A1R on the air, Psychic Talk Radio now on Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television.
Hello everyone, it's Susan Kennedy and I'm broadcasting today from the Gold Coast in Australia. I'm really excited to be here today. You know, it's the beginning of, I guess we're a month into our winter, and I've got to tell you, the weather has just been so amazing. I've been getting up every morning about 5 o'clock, going for amazing walks and just seeing the sunrise, and it's been absolutely beautiful. So one of the things I was called to talk to you about today was actually capturing these amazing moments in our lives. Because, you know, if you've been to a funeral, and I'm sure many of you have, you'd know that life is over in the blink of an eye. And it's really all about how can you live your life with more joy and more happiness while you're here. And as I walk in the mornings anyway, one of the things I do is I've always got my phone with me, and I'm usually listening to something really inspirational on YouTube. Been listening to a great guy at the moment, Dr. Ken Robinson, and he's all about education and all about inspiration. But every so often I have to just stop and take a photo and just capture the amazing moments that I'm experiencing. And it just got me to thinking just before the show, because I always ask Spirit, what do you want me to talk about? And they said, talk to people about creating a loving life vision board. So that often, you know, I think if you're a human and you're over maybe even 12 years of age at this point on the planet, then you've probably got a phone. And all the phones have got the ability to take photographs. So if you're anything like me, you're always snapping those things in your life that just sort of inspire you. So why wouldn't you create a vision board about the great things that you've experienced. And you can include things from nature or the people that you come across. But I think what it does when you create a vision board, and that's just putting everything together to make you feel good, and putting it somewhere that you can see it, that you can look at it, you can refer to it, and you can say, wow, yeah, that brings back all those feel-good feelings within me. Because, you know, if I look at the photos on my phone, or nearly 4,000 of them, you know, and I scroll down them, it's just an amazing array of colour. It's all of the amazing sunsets I've seen, the sunrises, the places I've been, the people I've shared my life with, and they're the things that really give me joy. So you've got the capacity to somehow make a vision board. You can even do it on your computer if you've got one, or on your phone. Lots of little apps and things that you can do, just so that every so often you can look at something and say, wow, that's my life. You know, I love my life, and these are the things I want to bring into my life. Because the more that you focus on the amazing things in your life, the more amazing things will happen to you. And it's really important, I believe, at the moment, because you know, when you look at the media, there's always something that's happened. There's always a friend that's struggling. There's always a country that's going through some crisis. And it's very easy to get dragged down, and it's very easy to lose sight of what's important to you. So I just invite you and recommend that you do your own Loving Life vision board. There's a great app I've got on my phone. I'm just going to have a quick look and see what it is. Where is it? Let me just have a look. It's called Layout, and that's an app where you can just download it onto your phone, and you can put maybe up to, I think maybe up to 12 or 16 different photographs on, and create a little collage of your life. So I would just be looking at that, and I'd be saying, okay, what in my life inspires me this week? What makes me feel good? Who are the people that I'm sharing my life with this week that I want to look at and remember? So go get happy, you know, take some happy snaps, create some beautiful collages, and hey, look, you know, love you to start a conversation with me on the Facebook page, and we can see. I might actually go on there this afternoon and put my own happy snaps up from this week, and love to see yours in the comments. Okay, so now on with the show, and I'm about to take my first caller for today. So I usually have 2 callers for readings. So I've got Mercedes in Watsonville, California. What a great name. Mercedes, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Fabulous. Well, you're named after some amazing vehicle, so I know you must be an amazing woman. How can I help you today,
Hello?
Mercedes? Yeah?
I
can hear you.
had like questions. Yeah? I've had questions and concerns about my marriage and where it's heading and how it's been lately.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, let me see. I think I'm going with you with this. Well, let's just see with your marriage. Well, my feeling is with your marriage that you've, there's a lot of pressure on you, I feel, to, you know, would I be right that I feel very trapped in the marriage, and I feel that that's coming from your partner being fairly dominating? Would that be right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know that whenever there are troubles in relationships, it's really bringing up something from the past that has to be dealt with now. Because my feeling is, have you been together about 7 years?
Excuse me? Hello?
Have you been with your husband for about 7 years?
7?
7, yes.
Hold on.
How long have you... Yeah. No, I'm just asking a question. Okay, all right, okay. Okay, so it is live radio, everyone, and we just have a little bit of a problem with the connection. So we're just going to go on to the next caller, I believe. I've got my beautiful director, Dave, in the background helping me. So, yeah, sometimes the connections aren't that good, which is just modern technology, as we know. We just have to learn to be flexible and deal with these things. So, yeah, I know there'll be somebody else there that's waiting in the wings. So meanwhile, just back to what we were talking about, though, about really, you know, focusing on having some really great images that you can recall even in your mind, that if you're thinking about the things that gave you joy, it's going to immediately change your feeling about yourself. And that has got a great way of bringing you to another space of happiness within yourself. So if you're ever feeling down, you can bring out your vision board. But how about creating a mental one as well, so that you have this bank of memories, this bank of images in your mind. You know, I'm smiling right now because I'm just remembering my recent trip to the United Kingdom, and also my trip to Cancun last year. I mean, I love to travel, and when I travel, I take lots of pictures. I feel very inspired by the environment that I'm in. It really feeds my soul. So, yeah, it's really just about creating a space for yourself that is nurturing, that's healing, and that will nourish your soul, because this is your life. You know, you have to get in there. You have to learn how to really keep yourself up. You know, I get so many questions on the show about, you know, what's going on in my relationship or what's going on in my life. And the reality is you're the person in your life that can make any changes. So you're the one that has to start to really find ways to bring yourself up, to give yourself energy, to give yourself power, because nobody else can do that for you. And it's, you know, as I said, it's really important that you learn how. And they're just different skills in how to, you know, really find a way to find some great ways of feeling good. So as I'm doing this now, I've got my window open. I look out there to we call it the Broadwater here in Australia. It's a beautiful patch of water on the Gold Coast. And I can see planes going by, I can see helicopters, and I'm reminded of my walk this morning where it was, you know, I had this beautiful image of the sun coming up. There was a plane in the sky. It absolutely looked like something out of a storybook. So for me, that feeds my spirit. And I'm now ready, so I've sort of filled in that space in time. We've now got the lovely Jenny from Iowa. Hello, Jenny. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. I'm doing a little bit of improvising here on the show today and just talking about how to have a much happier life. How could I help you today with your reading?
Well, what I'm calling about is, and can you hear me okay? Because you're a tiny bit spotty, but can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you very clearly. Can you hear me now?
Okay, great. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. I just wanted to make sure that you were hearing me okay.
You're loud and clear. You're loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. What I'm calling about is I'm currently, it's in a job I love, a job that I own, I co-own with a business partner. I love it. She's kind of God sent to me. We started this business from the ground up. Very lucrative. We've done very well. Okay. Yeah. Did you have a question?
No, I just missed the first part of what you said. So I gather you're in a business with someone and you're loving it. Is that what I heard?
Okay. So my question is, my business is doing, very well. I have had just recently an opportunity to take on kind of a side business that also has the potential to be very lucrative in the future. And I am kind of weighing my risks and benefits because that's how I operate. And my question is, I guess, first of all, I feel that my vibe is that the woman that I'm working with on this opportunity is ethical and honest. So that's my first question. What your take on that is, the gal that I'm working with on this new potential opportunity.
Yeah. Feels good to me. Feels good. It feels very positive.
Okay.
So, is there some sort of teaching involved with this new business opportunity?
Say that one more time.
Or is it something online? It feels like it's some sort of teaching on.
It's kind of online. It's a marketing kind of a situation. Yeah. But it involves a lot of work. But it's work that I can do when I'm not working my full-time job, which I have no intention of giving up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it feels like it will stretch you. You know, I feel like it will bring you. You know, you're someone that really needs to be busy all the time, is what I'm seeing. And do you have a business already where you're shipping things out? Do I see things going out to people?
No, but that's what the second one is.
Okay, so because that's what I'm seeing. It's almost as though I'm getting very busy, and I'm shipping things out, and it feels like it's very much production line, and it feels very good. But the thing, I guess, with you, Jenny, is I feel like you're someone that is, you're always looking for something that you can do, and you've got a great calling in life. So can I just get your date of birth, please?
Get my what, hon?
Your birthday, the day you were born.
My birth date. Do you need the year, the whole thing? August.
Sorry, nobody knows who you are. It's just for the numerology. It just helps me, or even the first 2 days.
August 3rd, 1968.
Okay. So the 3rd of August, 1968. Yes. 24. Yeah. 35. Yeah, so you come in with a lot of 8s in your numbers. You are a number 8, all about business, all about, being very good at what you do. And it feels that you just have to make sure with this new opportunity that you do have a lot of very clear boundaries, a lot of clear guidelines, because it's almost as though there's so much that you have to do and so much that the other person has to do. So it's really making sure that all the boxes are ticked to start with, and my feeling is at the moment they're not all ticked, so it's a little bit like I need to know this, this and this, and then once that's done, I feel like, because I feel like you've spent quite a bit of energy already in looking at this, but honestly it feels like it's a new adventure. Feels like it's a new adventure. It feels like it will open up some more doors for you as well. And, it's really interesting in life that sometimes we go into something because we think that that's what we're going to do next. And yet by just following and trusting in guidance, it feels like it will open up into something more. Now, are you also looking at working with children's clothes, because that came in as well?
Pardon me?
Is part of what you're shipping out to do with children?
No. I have a lot of children of my own and grandchildren, but I've had a life where a profession where I've taken care of lots of children in my profession, and now it's grown-up people. Yeah.
Okay. No, it's just in the image that I had when I said things will grow and things will move. I was just seeing children's clothes, so it could be that as you develop, it just at some level moves either into that, or it gives the opportunity to, to help other people grow. But it feels like it's something that will be an important milestone for you. Have you turned 55 yet, or are you about to turn 55? You're way off that yet, aren't you?
Say that one more time.
When will you be 55? How many years?
Oh,
I'm not very good at maths.
That is so crazy.
Another couple of years.
Okay, my goal, 55 is my magic number to be retired in the capacity where I work the way I want to work, and I work the hours I want to work. I want to always work, but I'm not 55. I'm 48. Okay. I'll be 49. So that you say, and I was just going to tell you that 55 is my magic number, and I feel like this is the opportunity that's been dropped in my lap to get me to that goal. So that's why I'm calling.
Why it dropped in. Yeah, it just dropped in because I was looking at it saying, well, you're not 55, what are you, but when will you be 55? Because 55 just came in loud and clear. That, yeah, so it's, again, it's knowing that this will really give you that opportunity to, and it's also for you as well. I know that you have a lot, I feel like you've done a lot with education as well, you know, that you've done a lot to help a lot of other people. So this is something, this opportunity, I feel it is very, very good. I think it will work for you. And I know that you're going to be successful because whatever you do feels like it will be. But what I'm being shown is you're going to learn a lot along the way, and it'll take you closer to that 55 so that you will have, you know, all of your plans coming together. So it feels really good, I have to say, Jenny. It feels really good. So yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, okay.
That is awesome, and it doesn't feel like anything that pragmatic as far as my family relationship or will take me away from my family. I don't feel that. I don't feel that it's something that will. I feel like it fits into the pockets of time.
I feel, if anything, it feels like there might be younger people around you that get involved to help as well. And you're such a warm, you know, I just feel my heart is really open and really warm. You know, as I'm talking to you, I really feel this, you know, huge opening. And it is, you know, I feel that you're very good at putting boundaries down so that you know, it's about automating it. It really feels like whatever it is, it needs to be very automated. And it feels like that's what you're putting all the work into. And sometimes, you know, with businesses, we have to put a lot of stuff in early to get it happening the way we want to. So it takes a little bit longer in the beginning. But my feeling is by November, everything's up and running and it's, you know, it's in a really good space. So it feels, as I said, very positive. And so I feel as well, sorry, I just got that, I'm not sure, you've got a husband, yeah?
Pardon me?
Do you have a husband?
I do have a husband, yes.
Yeah, because one of the things I was seeing is as though I have to, I feel that there's more that you'll have to put onto him in a way, as in, you know, a little bit more involvement with him to help everything come along. But I think he's more than willing, because I feel like he just adores you anyway, and it's as though, you know, whatever keeps you happy keeps him happy, and I feel like he needs some sort of involvement as well. So that was just a flash of something that came in there. So yeah, it feels really good. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So I wish you well. I'm not sure, was there anything else I could help you with at all?
Can I ask you just one other fast question? I feel incredibly driven by spirit guides, and that I just feel like sometimes almost too much energy around me all the time.
It's funny, before I asked you, is there anything else? I saw a big rainbow above you, big rainbow of colour, which usually indicates to me that you've got very mediumistic energy, meaning that you are very open, that spirit would in fact come to you as well. So the whole thing is, I believe, it's about learning how to manage your energy, and really just to own your energy. So one of the things you have to become very aware of is just saying to yourself, this is my energy, and just being aware that, you know, doing things that will ground you, and really aiming to be very mindful of how you feel and what you feel and when you feel it. And just, one of the things I do is just mentally say, I bring all of my energy back to myself. So I would really encourage you to do that. And yeah, so I wish you well with that. I do actually have another caller. The whole show's been a little bit funny today, but it's been really lovely talking to you, Jenny. And I wish you well with your business. I think it's going to be amazing. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. You are very welcome. So now I have Christina from Florida. How are you, Christina? Oh, okay. All right. So it was interesting. I'm just going to talk now because that was Dave, my director, saying we lost our next caller. And, you know, sometimes I think that spiritually I get put in a position where it says, okay, it's time for me to talk now. And yes, you know, like readings are great and I love doing them, but I also do so much more and I want to share so much more with you. So I feel today the question that Jenny just asked me about how do I manage my energy. This is something that comes up with so many people because we can get so rattled by other people. So I believe that spiritually you're here to learn how to really know who you are. She's there now? Sorry, Dave, can't hear you.
Yes.
Okay, do we have time now for more reading? 5 minutes. Okay, Christina, how are you today? Hello?
Right.
I cannot hear. Okay, there you are. Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Christina, I'm so sorry. We've only got about 4 or 5 minutes, so and the connection's been really bad all through the show, but how could I help you? One big thing you want some help with. What is it?
My relationship.
Your relationship. Okay. Let's. Sorry?
It's always been very on and off. And I've had reasons before, and they have, all told me that it's just an emotional roller coaster ride that I'm going to continue. And I don't know if this is another continuance or if this is actually over.
Okay. Well, the feeling, as soon as you said relationship, I know that you're trying to keep your balance. I know that you're, in a way, both pushing each other away is how it feels to me at the moment. It feels like you're going in different directions, and it feels like it's time for you to go into the emotional things that you've been, working through, and I feel that there's been a few. And, it feels like it's time to actually now go through another doorway and to find some... It's like you have to vet people more when they come into your life. I feel as though you've had, relationships where it's been just not, it feels like you've gone against your feelings and that you actually know that. So I feel at the moment this is very much a time for you to get your emotional balance, and my sense is that it's time to give it a break and to, really focus on yourself. Focus on getting yourself back where you want to be, because I feel like you're here to be of service in some way, and it's all about taking care of yourself now. Does all that sound right? Because I know we've got just such limited time.
It's close. Really, do we end up back together is my main question.
Well, again, that feels like that's up to you. I feel like there's something there to forgive or something to work through, and providing you do your bit and he does his bit, it feels like that, I'm seeing there's potential for it to come back together, but I actually feel like there's a lot of work that needs to be done on both sides. I think he's offering you an opportunity for learning at the moment. Feels like there's this, I don't know whether it's a repetitive pattern, but I know that there's a lot of emotional work that needs to be done. So I know that if you do what needs to be done, and you sort of, say, okay, I'm going to get some help with this, I'm going to really, do what I need to do, and make this relationship a priority in my life, and ask for what it is I need, because I feel at some level there's a lack of trust in him. So there needs to be a lot of healing done, and I feel that once you do that, you very much got this new beginnings with the relationship. So definitely, I feel you will come back together, but you need to do the work first. So I wish you well with it. because we've only got 60 seconds. I'm so sorry it's been such a short reading, but it's just been a funny show today. So I wish you well. Do that work. Know that you are supported in it, and just keep on following your heart and doing the healing work that needs to be done for you. Okay, so I wish you well with that. Okay, everyone, so I know that, yeah, it's been a strange show today, but look, it's all about live radio, dealing with what comes up, learning how to improvise, how to love life. I'll see you next week on the show, and I hope you have an amazing week, and I hope you find some new ways to live and love your life.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
What? The storks are bringing me a baby brother!
Storks know how to keep kids safe.
Aww.
Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
We can build it together!
To know for sure that your child is in the right seat for their age and size,
Remember when I was a baby, felt like 1 minute ago?
What?
visit safercar.gov/therightseat.
What he said.
We've been having some awesome shows in the last few weeks, so I'm so pleased you could join us today. And for all our amazing American friends, happy 4th of July. I know you've all been partying on and enjoying the day, and so you should. For the rest of us around the world, we'll just join in with you from wherever we are in this amazing part of the globe. So this week we're going to have some interesting things we're going to talk about on the show. Yes, we will do a couple of free readings. We'll squeeze those in with this action-packed show we have today. We're going to feature the Simply Tarot card of the week, as we always do. We'll wrap up our fourth part in our series on Mercury. And we'll also have a little look at what's happening in the universe. So to kick the show off, I thought we'd start with our card of the week. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Amanda Hall. I'm a psychic. I'm from the Gold Coast. I've been in the industry over 40 years. And 13 plus years ago, I designed a set of tarot cards for an Australian publisher that went worldwide based on the Rider-Waite deck, the most popular common deck in the world. And we purpose shot photographs, and we added a little meaning to the bottom of the card, and that's the cards that I feature every week on the show. We draw a card of the week that is set the intention for the rest of the week for each and every one of us. So this week I thought it was an absolutely wonderful card I've drawn. It's the Wish card. It's the Seven of Swords. It's the card of our plans, our hopes. It is the Wished card, and it is the highest of the minor arcana. So I thought it was an absolutely magical card to share on the 4th of July to sort of say that we can make our wishes come true. So why don't you light a candle, set your intentions underneath it, what you'd like to bring into your life, and believe that the magic can happen. So following on from the the card of the week, the Simply Tarot card of the week, we're going to now have a quick look at what's actually happening in the universe. So the universe is an amazing place, as we all know, and astrologically all the planets dance around this amazing universe each and every day. Some move faster than others, but it's what's known as a transit. Now, when the planets are transiting or moving around the zodiac wheel, they can form little patterns, or they decide to hold hands with each other and the energies become more intense. So I like to sort of try and simplify astrology and make it easy for everybody to digest. So this little week's glimpse at what's happening in the universe, I want to still focus on the sun. The sun is the energy, which is where our ego, our drive comes from, and the sun currently at the moment is in the sign of Cancer, and, you know, it feels reasonably comfortable there. So happy birthday to all the Cancerians that have either had a birthday or are about to have their birthday. And at this point, the sun is actually conjunct or holding hands still with the planet Mars. Now, the planet Mars is our action, is our drive. Now, with both of these in Cancer, and I must say they're not, it's a loose situation where they're holding hands. They're sort of holding hands just very gently. They're not sort of really tight. So what they're asking each and every one of us to do is to look at our communication, look at what we can start in motion that we may have put on the back burner, or are we ready to launch a new project? This is the time to get our ideas out there and to get them heard. It's a time to be sort of gentle in our approach, maybe delve into our intuitional side of ourselves and look at what we can do to try and get our communication heard, or deal with those tricky areas in life that we've been sort of avoiding. And we all have those from time to time where we need to sort of look at the communication that's happening in our lives and why do we need to speak up, or maybe sometimes even keep our mouth zippered. It's an entirely a personal thing, but you'll know which situation suits you. Now, this leads us on to our final and fourth part in the series of Mercury that we've been working with over the last 3 shows. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication. Mercury is also the planet that gives us our intellect and where our sense of humour comes from. So it's always easy when you think of, oh, communication, what comes verbally out of our mouths. No, communication can take on many forms. It's how we construct an email, it's how we send a text message, it's how we write poetry, or maybe we share our message in a song. A lot of people find it very difficult to talk about their emotions and how they're feeling, but sometimes they can share those thoughts in a poem that they've read, or taking a saying from someone else, or maybe even the lyrics to a song, and that sort of expresses how they feel about the person or the situation in their life that they need to get their message across. So communication can come in many forms. I always say to people, even having a good argument is constructive communication. It's not necessarily the suggested course of action for everyday problems, but sometimes it's the only way that we can get our message across. So for the final part in the series, we're going to work with Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces. Now, Mercury in Capricorn is a really interesting placement because Mercury in Capricorn is a little bit like the school teacher. Mercury here's got his red pen and he's marking things off, and he's saying to you, hang on a minute, that's not exactly how the story went. You left out this detail, you added that there. Mercury in Capricorn likes everything to be verbatim. They like it to be precise, to be exact. Don't exaggerate it. Don't add anything to it and don't leave anything out. But it's interesting here also, Mercury in Capricorn also has an unusual sense of humour. And you quite often find people that have Mercury in Capricorn are said to have no sense of humour. No, that's not exactly true. They just don't like people wasting their time with trivial rubbish. If something is really funny, they will laugh at it, but if it's smutty or seedy, they just dismiss it and say, well, that was a waste of time. Bring me something that I can really understand and want to laugh at. So just remember, if you've got Mercury in Capricorn, be aware you don't always have to be the school teacher with the red pen and correct friends and lovers and colleagues when they get the information wrong. Everybody has a different take on what they see as their truth. So it's interesting now when we move to Mercury in Aquarius. because this is one of my favourite areas of Mercury, because Mercury is the planet of communication, and Aquarian energy is the epitome of doing things differently, of randomly pulling something out of nowhere. This is where the most amazing ideas can come from. Aquarians can have that real light bulb moment where they just sort of pull a one-liner out of nowhere, and it's the most brilliant statement that's ever been made. Or they've just invented something that they didn't even realise they were going to invent, and it's just sort of come into their mind like a bolt of lightning. So Mercury in Aquarius can sometimes be a little bit hard to follow, because these people, their minds work so quickly. It's almost like everything that they talk about is in code or in shorthand, and you have to fill in the gaps around it. But it's because their mind works so fast, it's so sharp, and it can process so much information like a computer hard drive. They even have times there where it's difficult for them to even keep up with their own mind. So bear that in mind if you have a friend or a family member that has Mercury in Aquarius. Sometimes their own mind is hard for them to keep up with. So we come to our final sign, which is Mercury in Pisces. Now, again, when we're still looking at communication, but now we're going to put it into a water element. We're going to change Mercury into something magical. Because Mercury here says, okay, let's get creative. I can see things, I can feel things, I can hear things, I can create things. I can put it into a mystical sort of way. I can create the most beautiful photographs. I can create the most beautiful movies or videos, because I have this creative flair that helps me paint pictures with words. And I can transpose that into many, many different mediums. So people that have Mercury in Pisces are usually incredibly creative, very musical, or very artistic, or maybe all three. They have the ability to be able to understand things in a very artistic, creative way, where somebody with Mercury in Capricorn would be standing there scratching their head and saying, yeah, well, that's pretty, but let's get to the practical side. So be a little bit gentle on our dear darling Piscean friends that have Mercury in Pisces, because that's where our creativity comes from. They have a brilliant mind in that way, and they don't want to deal with the nuts and bolts or the finances. They just want to create. So why don't we let them do that? So we're going to take our first caller, and it's Becky in, I better put my glasses on because I can't quite read it, Becky. Becky in Meadowview, Virginia, USA. Are you there, Becky? Happy 4th of July. Hello, Becky. I'm sure Becky will join us in a minute or two. Are you there, Becky?
Hello?
Hello, Becky. How can I help you?
Good. How are you?
Very well. Have you had a nice 4th of July, Becky?
Yes.
Good. So do you have a question I can help you with, sweetie?
Like any question?
Any question you like, sweetheart. Yes, anything.
My job situation.
Okay. All right, Becky, tuning into your job situation, I can see that there's been a few changes around the job scene in the last couple of months, and I'm going to say to you, I'm not sure that the way the job is heading actually feels comfortable to you. I sort of feel you're questioning whether or not it's time to look for another job, or do I give it a little bit more time? Do I persevere with this? Will it get better? Will I sort of go back to feeling comfortable with it? What they're showing me is I feel in September, Becky, that there's going to be a major decision that you're going to need to make. Now, I'm not saying that the job is coming to an end. What I'm saying is I think you're the one that will make the decision to look for another job, Becky. And I feel that that will come as early as September, where you feel comfortable enough that, yes, I've given this enough time. It's not getting any better. It's time for me to start looking at what I need to be doing for myself. And I do see another job coming towards you, which to me has a lot more security, and I feel a little bit of extra money on top of what you're earning now. But more importantly, you're going to be happy there, Becky. And I think that's the important thing. It's like the job itself, I think, that you're in at the moment, there's a time and a season for everything, and the season with this job is coming to an end. It's no longer giving you the satisfaction that it once did. So it's time now for you to be looking to broaden your horizons and look for something new.
Yes.
So is that how you're feeling,
That sounds good.
Pardon?
That sounds very good.
Yeah, and then your job fits you like a glove, Becky. It's sort of like it's time. You know, sometimes I think as we get older, we put a little bit of fear into, you know, oh, maybe I shouldn't change because maybe I'm being silly, or I won't get a better paying job, or I won't get something that's going to make me any happier. And we hold ourselves back from what is the natural time for us to make a change. And then if something does force us to do that, it's not always in a pleasant way because we've ignored our own timetable. And that's what I want to be very clear with you. You haven't ignored your own timetable. It's very close now. So any time between now and September, but I strongly was shown September was when the opportunity would present itself, and it was smooth and it was quick and it was positive. So best of luck with your job hunting, Becky. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. So we'll just wait for our next caller to come in. So it's been an interesting week astrologically for most people around the globe. A lot of people have been saying to me they've been feeling a little bit restless with Mars sitting in Cancer, because Mars likes to stir everything up and sort of make us feel a little bit titchy as he sort of, you know, tries to heat the water up, I suppose. It's sort of, you know, he's taking it from being cool to lukewarm to sort of starting to get a bit of a boil up so that we can start to move things along in our lives. I think sometimes when we get halfway through the year, we tend to get a little bit complacent sometimes about those New Year's resolutions that we set all that time way back in January, but it's sometimes time to dust them off and have another look at them and see what we have actually achieved, what we need to modify and change, and maybe what we can bring in this second half of the year. And for those of you that live in the Northern Hemisphere, this must be your favourite time of the year, is in those warmer months of the year. And I believe in the warmer months of the year is when we should take the most action. It's when we should get up off the couch and do something really constructive with our lives. For those of you that live in the Southern Hemisphere, this is the time of year where we're sort of being asked to retreat a little bit. The weather's cooler. It's time to sort of look at your life a little bit more, go inside yourself, do your soul searching, look at the things that you need to change in your life and get ready for the action when we start to get the warmer weather. So it always amazes me how much that the influence of the planets do sort of make in our lives. And whether we want to consciously say that we acknowledge it and we work with astrology or not, it does affect each and every one of us. We automatically tune into the cosmos. Whether we believe we do or we don't, we do tune into the cosmos, and we are able to harness that energy that takes place each and every day. And it's interesting because people say to me, well, how come some days I feel really motivated and then the next day I get out of bed and I'm really dragging myself around? And the answer to that is a lot of times it is connected to the moon, because the moon, the emotional energy, moves so fast that the moon really governs, I think, sometimes our energy levels. You can get out of bed some days and you can really take the world by storm, and then, you know, a few hours later you can feel like you've been run over by 3 Mack trucks. And I think that the answer to that is when the moon's changed out of, say, a very positive, fiery energy like Leo and moved into Virgo halfway through the day, and it's sort of like, boom, all my energy's dropped. It's become grounded, it's become slower, it's become more methodical. It's sort of asking me to go deep inside myself instead of being the drama queen and sort of being lively and on the stage. So that just gives you a little bit of an answer there at why sometimes our energy can even change during the course of the day. Now we're going to go to Jody in Summertown, Tennessee, USA. Are you there, Jody? Happy 4th of July.
Yes, I am. Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, sweetie. Have you been partying on?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Have you been partying on, enjoying the 4th of July?
Oh, no. I am horse-sitting my horse because she's afraid of fireworks.
Right. Oh, well, that's understandable. So how can I help you tonight, Jody? Do you have a question I can help you with?
Well, I was wondering, oh boy, there's so much on my mind, but what I was wondering was in regards to my career. I'm currently working multiple jobs in the same field, but I'm thinking about starting my own business, and I'm just not sure if I'm too old maybe to get there and just stay where I'm at. I don't know.
Okay, Jody, first things first, I mean, the fact that you're asking the question is an important thing. It means that the universe is trying to say to you, okay, Jody, let's look at options. Let's look at what's going on in your life at the moment. Let's look at it under a microscope. And every time you go and look at something under the microscope, what you keep seeing is that, gee, if I was doing that my way, I'd do it this way. I could see a way of doing this better. So these are all the little triggers that are sort of suggesting to you maybe it's time to look at becoming self-employed. And that's good. But then comes in the next layer that says, hang on a minute, but what if I give up my day job and all of a sudden I haven't got a regular income? Am I prepared? Am I ready for that? Am I really ready to step out there and go into the big, bad, wide world and become self-employed? It's a huge risk. It's a huge leap of faith. And it's also something that I'm not trying to talk you out of doing, Jody. What I'm saying to you is, if that's what you feel very drawn to, then by all means, I think we need to start preparing for that. And preparing for that would be looking at all the things that go with being self-employed. You know, what would it take to set up a business? What are the compliances by, you know, government regulations or industry regulations that you would have to comply to? How much money would it take? Do I need to have, you know, commercial premises? All these questions need to be answered. So I feel what we could be doing here is looking at all these sort of things, then looking at maybe doing a business management course or something like that that prepares you and gets you ready and helps you look at some of the other areas that maybe you hadn't thought of, and then look at the feasibility, am I ready to do this? Now, what I'm being shown is, yes, I do think that this is a real positive direction, and I do feel that you will gravitate towards self-employment. I just don't think it's going to be this year, Becky. What I think this year is about is preparation and really sort of preparing and looking to see whether or not this is something that I can do. I would also suggest, if at all possible, if maybe we can try and get a business off the ground while you're still gainfully employed, so that we then take that pressure off of having to earn money, that you can just focus on growing the business and trying to get it up and established, and then sort of maybe then take the leap of faith once you feel you've got it to a point that, you know, okay, there's not enough hours in the day, I've got to make a decision to leave the day job and then follow this. But there may also be a way where we can scale back the day job to maybe a more part-time situation and then focus more on the business and make the transition easier. What they were sort of showing me was that I didn't really feel that there was going to be the real leap towards this before about March next year. Now, it's not saying we can't prepare for it. It's not saying we can't do our research or even start the business up before then. But what they were showing me in real earnest is when it starts in March next year or thereabouts. So it's a time now of really giving this a lot of thought. I think it's something that's been in your mind for a long time now, Jody. I don't think it was just something that happened last week. You've been feeling this way for a long time. So I think we really need to honour this and explore the opportunity of this and see where this could go. I do feel you've got what it takes to make a successful business, and I do feel that you are able to sort of really realistically look at what it would take to do this. You're not looking at it through fairy image eyes and sort of just thinking, oh, great, it'll be great to be self-employed and I'll have all this money and I can go to golf 3 days a week. You're not looking at it in that unrealistic expectation. You know that this is going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of energy and a lot of time, and you know that you're prepared to put that in. So I wish you every success with it. I think you will make the transition into complete self-employment, and I do think you'll be very successful with it, Jody, but it will be hard work, and it's something that you have to be really ready for.
Yeah.
So is there something that might come into the business with you? Because I could see a dark-headed man around the business as well.
Okay.
Is there someone else that might come into the business with you as a partner?
Not that I know of. I'm a dog groomer. Right. But I don't know very many other people around here, so.
I don't know. I just saw a dark-headed man around it. Now, that could be somebody that might help mentor you, or might be somebody that helps you, get all the compliance in place. But I just saw this dark-headed man having a great influence over you going into this self-employed situation.
Is it, would you happen to know if it was, age-wise, if it was a younger man, older man?
He looked to me to be in his late 30s, early 40s mark. I only saw his head. I didn't see anything else. They didn't show me in what capacity in the business he was going to be. It was just that he was there. And that's why I thought, I'll ask, are you looking to take on a partner? Because this man seemed to have a big influence in how you were going to structure this.
Okay.
But that could be just somebody that shows you the compliance that needs to meet, council, local government, or government, regulations too. It could be somebody just, that you're going to get advice from, how to structure this properly. So, they don't always show it to me clearly at what the role is. So, but I know you're going to be very successful with it. So with the dog grooming thing, would you then look at sort of having other services that are attached to that, like sort of maybe accessories and food, or?
Probably, yeah. It would, there would probably be an extra, like an external business, like for people who go away on vacation, for me to take care of their farms too, actually.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff, because I could see a website and I could see sort of like a shop on a web. But I also sort of felt there was other strands to this. Like, to me, the dog grooming was only one part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. I feel very excited about it because I actually feel the business will take off. I think you'll have to have other people working with you, even if it is only on a part-time capacity, because I think there's only one of you and you're not going to be able to do everything. You're not going to be able to be grooming the dogs, walking the dogs, and feeding and looking after them. There's only so many hours in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. I mean, if they're showing me that you're going to need staff, that means you're going to be successful.
I hope so.
Never mind you hope so. Always put it in the positive, I know so. It's what we put out to the universe is what helps us manifest these things, and that's what I mean. I mean, you'll do your research, you'll get everything sort of sorted out with this, and you'll build this up slowly, like while you've still got the day job going on, which is good. That's the correct way to go into a business. Then that way, you're sort of not throwing yourself completely into the deep end. But I also sort of felt that you were going to build up a network of services around you that were sort of like add-ons, or people referring to you and you referring to them. There was going to be quite a nice networking happening with businesses that are connected with you, like a local vet and things like this. So there was lots of opportunities there to sort of bring business in many different angles.
Right.
Which is good.
Yeah, because right now I work for 2 vets, so.
Feel, if I can interrupt you, Jody, I did also sort of feel that a bit further down the track you would work with dogs that had emotional problems or behaviour problems.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's something I think that interests you, but it's not where you're going to start. But that's sort of something that the business is going to gravitate into.
Okay.
Which is good. Behavior. I think you're going to have a really, really successful business. So, you'll be looking to get your own premises eventually where you can accommodate all these things in one place, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, because my daughter is, my foster daughter, she's training right now to be a canine officer at a Virginia prison.
That's wonderful. There you go. See, that might be something that you'll end up doing, is training the dogs for that. There's many different areas this can take, Jody. So, I mean, one step at a time, do your homework, do your research, get everything properly set up with compliance, and I can't see a problem. Anyway, good luck with the business, Jody. We've only got a very limited amount of time left on the show now. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. It's been a great show as always. Next week we're going to start our new 4-part series. We're going to be looking at Venus. the planet of love and affection moving through the zodiac signs, and how does that affect you? One of my favourite planets, Venus, because it shows us the things that we love to do in our life, not just the types of love that we attract in our lives, as in relationships.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hi everyone, and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. My name is Josie.